What is up, YouTube? Hello, Party Parrots. Today is patch day. So, not only did we, of course, get a new rework to the economy with snap packs, which I know a lot of people have been waiting for. I've been waiting for it. I'm so excited. So glad they did this. Not only that, but we got 4 brand new cards. And not only that, but we also got data mines for, I believe, not just the July season. We got, I think, all of the cards that are going to be dropping July. Fantastic Four for the new movie. But I think we also got to look at what cards will be coming the next month, too, in July. So it is an absolutely insane day for Marvel Snap. I'm so excited for just all of it. If you guys like Marvel Snap, if you like any of this, please consider hitting that like button, hit that subscribe button. I always break down new cards. I'm gonna break down exactly what all these new cards are because not only did we get new cards, but we also got new crazy like omega abilities of existing cards, which is something we've absolutely never seen before. They're called champion abilities. I think it's going to be a little bit until other people even make content featuring this because a lot of people I think just don't understand what the data mines are saying right now. But I think I have a pretty good idea. So that's what I'm bringing to you guys. But like I said, if you like this, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's first start off though with what new cards are actually coming this month because we just got our new snap pack rework. So what does this mean for the future of card acquisition? Well, I don't think it is changing much. I think we will still be getting our season pass cards. I think we will still be getting a weekly, and all this is in the data mine, season series 5 card release. So just like collector spotlight caches before, only now it'll just go into the seasonal pack. Every week you'll get that card. It also seems like we will be getting series more direct to series 4 cards. We just got a huge amount of them just straight into series 4. I imagine that that's something that they might do in the future. We'll also have limited time game mode cards which look pretty I'm sure that will continue on. We've been getting those for a while. And then there are also going to be they're called champion abilities for a new game mode. And that is something that I think is confusing a lot of people. What does this mean? I'm going to break down exactly what those are and what I think those are and what this means for Marvel Snap, what this new game mode is. But again, reminder, this is all data mines. Shout out to Snap.fan where I get all of these data mines from, but all of this is subject to change. The past couple times they've been this confusing with cards like Honshu and looking forward to the 6 months of Snap. I was actually pretty accurate, which means I'll probably be completely wrong this time. But enough talking. Let's actually break down by starting with the new Mr. Fantastic coming in the season pass. Yes, we have First Steps Reed Richards. And spoiler alert, of the 5 new Series 5 cards that are coming, 4 of them are going to be First Steps, the Fantastic Four. That's just how it is. This first one is First Steps Mr. Fantastic. They do have completely different abilities, though, so I think some people will be disappointed seeing that 4 out of the 5 cards this season are just cards that we already have in the game. But nevertheless, it's a new movie. What is this new Mr. Fantastic doing? Well, he is a 2/3 with the end of turn ability. Give a card in your hand +2 power or -1 cost. Essentially, what this is a 2-drop Mr. or a Fastos that end of turns gives the effect to a card in your hand. And this seems incredibly powerful to me. Just absolutely insane. Like, this just seems like such a generically good card that has so much synergy with other cards that like if you hit a Brood or a Sebastian Shaw, if you give those +2 power, we've seen like Fastos Servo after Fastos got that buff, it just got a lot better. I did the way that this is templated too, I don't think if the way Fastos works is if you hit a 1-drop and give it -1 cost, it's free. This also can work like a kind of 2-drop Zabu, where like if Shang-Chi's in your hand and you want to play, Shang-Chi and another 3-drop on turn 6, well, if he gives that card -1 cost, it's a 3-drop. Like if you do that to 2 4-drops, you basically built your own Zabu. It seems like almost Galacta level, Sam Wilson level, where generically what this card is doing is good. Its power as a 2/3 is good. And it also just synergizes with so many cards. Like there's who wouldn't want a 4-drop Iron Man to work and a 2-drop Mystique or a 5/2 Iron Man, just so many different things. I put a couple up there in synergies, but I think it's going to be hard to find a card that this doesn't work with. Uh, and yeah, 5 stars. I think this is a pretty crazy version of Mr. Fantastic. We've seen a lot of push 2-drops. I think he's going to be another one. Will he be the best card in the game? Remains to be seen, but it wouldn't surprise me if he's top 5 at all. Next up, we have H.E.R.B.I.E. Yes, everyone's favorite little robot. H.E.R.B.I.E is coming to the game. He is going to be a 2/2 with the ability each turn this is in play, swap to a new activate ability until one is used. So this is essentially going to be like Nico Monroe, only the activate version. Instead of sitting in your hand and switching between the spells, and then you player and that's the version that it gets. You stick this robot on the battlefield, and it's going to start cycling through these different activates for you. Now, I'm not sure if it's going to be able to cycle through the same one more than once, or if it'll go through each one at least once and then switch to like another one. Unclear how this will work out exactly, but what are these activates? Well, the first one is activate, double this card's power. Second one, activate, create a rock with 4 power here. Third one, activate, give your other cards at adjacent locations +1 power. And the final one is activate, next turn you get +2 energy. And first of all of these seem really good and just great utility to have. I'm giving this card 4 stars because I think this kind of versatility, this utility that a card is bringing is very powerful. We've seen cards like Nico be very powerful. We've seen the ability to do multiple things just really work. So let's actually look at what they are, like doubling this card's power. That seems worse on an activate at first than like Nico Monroe, or at least a 2-drop than a 1-drop, until you realize that you could play this with something like Kahore, or something that like a Koye, where you can buff this card's power up, Nemora potentially. Like you can buff up its power on the board and then activate it later. You can put it on more island, get that +1 every turn, and then wait until it cycles around, double its power. And so I think that's going to make it actually pretty interesting there. That's why I have like Kahore as a possible synergy. Also, obviously, it's going to work with that Mr. Fantastic first steps that we just talked about. I think that's going to be kind of a no-brainer how well those two cards are going to work together. Then that activate, create a rock with 4 power here. I mean, that just seems like a really good backup option. Just get a 1/4 activate, a 2/2 with an activate to get a 1/4. Seems really good. I mean, yes, it could work with Kazar or Patriot, but it could just be, I want 4 power this turn, and that's what I need to get priority or going into the last turn. So I think that will be really solid. That makes it a 2/6. Activate, give your cards at adjacent locations +1 power. That one could be kind of insane. If you're playing out like a Thanos deck or a deck like Surfer that plays out a ton of cards, that could be easily be a 210. Wait until you've played out all your cards. Again, activate. You can do this after the game has ended, or after all the cards have been played out. And finally, activate. Next turn, you get +2 energy. I mean, energy is always great, and the ability to kind of have this bonus energy and bonus power, bodies, potential like doubling synergies. I think this card's going to have a ton of versatility. Really excited for H.E.R.B.I.E to come to the game. I think he's going to work perfectly with Mr. Fantastic first steps. We then have coming Johnny Storm, first steps, Human Torch, and this is a 3/2 with the ability end of turn +1 power. Flame on, he's going to be growing. Then once per game, if your side here is full, double this card's power instead. So obviously this is a Silver Surfer card, right? You play this out on 3, it goes to 3 power, and in general, if you play this on 3, it'll go 3, 4, 5, 6. If you manage to get on that last turn, fill that location, which you will probably be doing if you're playing Johnny, if you're playing this Human Torch, whether with Brood in like a Surfer deck, or maybe you just play it as a good 3 drop in like Thanos. Maybe you're playing Sam Wilson, Kate Bishop, these kind of generic cards that can put out a lot of cards, lots of decks that can end up filling certainly at least one location. That'll be a 310, which is really good. I mean, 310 is absolutely nothing to scoff at, right? Doesn't require too much work, basically just by turn 6, fill a location. Seems very good. And it's just going to keep growing, which is really good. Where it really starts to shine, though, is in decks where you can get it more power before that, right? Obviously, Silver Surfer is the most obvious one. If you forge and then into this, let's say you don't draw your Brood, that's 4, 5 power turn one. It's going to go 6, 7, 8, then double. Not to mention if you play Silver Surfer before that, because again, that's an end of turn effect. So obviously, this can get out of hand very quickly. It'll break even Sebastian Shaw's numbers. You can also play it with obviously the new Mr. Fantastic, the new Invisible Woman we're gonna see also has some synergies with this. So I think I'm giving this 4.5 stars because I think kind of at worst it's going to be a 310 if things go well. And even if they don't, even if you just play this on turn 6, it's a 3-3. That's not great, but maybe even a 3-4 or a 3 is really easily scales, and I think there's a lot of potential. I think there's going to be a lot of decks. I don't think this card is as generically good as it might seem, but I think that decks that can take advantage of this are really going to want this effect, and a lot of those decks, like Silver, like Surfer, are really good. So 4.5, I think Johnny is absolutely going to see some play. Then we have First Steps the Thing. He is a 5/6 with the ability End of Turn +2 power. So you play him on 5, he goes up to 8, then on turn 6, he'll go up to 10. 5/10, we've seen many 5/10s get nerfed in the past, but those also had other abilities. So what's his other ability? Once per game, if your side here is full, destroy an enemy card with lesser power. So yes, it is clobbering time. He will just absolutely smote something with less power. And the way that this is worded, he should get the power first. So he can take down almost immediately like a demon. Just, you know, what, 14 power swing, destroying a demon, destroying a collector. It's almost like a red guardian effect, and he just keeps growing. If there's if an extra energy, if you play this with Project Pegasus on turn 2 or something, he'll just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So really, really solid. I really like what this is doing. I can definitely see this again. Like, this seems more generic to me than Human Torch because it's just a big 5 drop, and it has a lot of potential. If you just are playing any deck, again, think those Kate Bishop, Sam Wilson, like a Thanos deck. Maybe you have Jeff or Kitty Pride, something like that, where you just have these cards that you can kind of push around where you want, these cheap, good cards. Then you play him, and your opponent also might, if he's the third card you have there, they might not be able to play into that lane because the potential, if you put anything there, he's just going to destroy something. And even if you don't, you can then kind of get them with the juke there. I love this card. I'm giving him 4 stars. I think he's going to be very generically good. 5 drops, it's been kind of hard unless they have a very specific synergy to fit into decks lately, but his power seems so good that he's going to find a home. We've seen like Thanos play just generically good 5 drops like Vision before. This seems like the exact kind of card that could take that spot going forward. And for our final Series 5 card coming the Fantastic Four month, we have First Steps Invisible Woman. She is a 3/4, so pretty good stat line, with the ability Activate. This turn, your end of turn abilities happen twice. So obviously she works amazingly with, the Fantastic Four, right? All of the first steps. She can double up Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic's end of turn hand buff. She can give you another Human Torch trigger. She can give you another The Thing trigger. Obviously, she's kind of made to go in that home. The one thing I dislike about her, though, is the Human Torch and The Thing, which seem like the cards you'd really want to double up on. Unfortunately, theirs are only once per game. So I don't think this would let you do it again, but it would still let you get that +1 or +2 power, which would be really nice. So maybe also kind of seems the way it's worded, like maybe you don't want to do this on the last turn. Maybe you want to do this on turn 5, for your Ben and for your Human Torch. That way you can get them that extra power before he doubles, or you can get him even bigger before you fill it on the last turn and then destroy something so you can destroy an even bigger thing with Ben Grimm. But there isn't a ton of end of turn stuff. Some of the ones that I wanted to highlight was Havoc and Thena. Both of those cards are used in the same deck. Both have very powerful end of turn effects. So maybe she could see play in like that deck just as that ability. Also keep in mind though that she's activate, which is nice. You can play her on turn 3 and then do it 4, 5, or 6, but you do need to make sure you get her down because she's activate. So maybe a bit awkward. Maybe it'll end up playing really good. Doom 2099. You could also play her with that. Get another Doom bot. Like if the last turn all you do is play Doctor Doom, activate, Doom 2099 goes off, Doom 2099 goes off again. That is a lot of potential power. And finally, we have Merlin, who seems to be coming in the month before this. It's like end of turn gives you a wizardly incantation to your hand. Obviously, if you're going for that like turn 5 end turn thing, you could activate this on your turn 5, get another wizardly incantation. So I gave her 3 stars. It's definitely a powerful ability, one that I don't know if we have everything right now or when she'll release. Definitely enough to make a deck, but she seems like the kind of card that will only get better as Marvel snaps. So definitely not a card you're going to want to miss, and really cool design. I love this kind of doubling up your end of turn, something that I have never thought about when building my Marvel snap effect. So love to see Sue in such form. And for our first Series 4 card, and we're not quite sure how Series 4 cards will be released going forward, it stands to reckon that some of them will come through through new events that they kind of have been coming. Cards like Agony, Cassandra Nova that came in the limited time game modes. We know one is data mined, a brand new one's data mined to be coming, which will break after these Series 4 cards. We'll break them down. But we're not sure. We just had 3 release in snap packs, direct to snap packs. I could definitely see maybe 1 or 2 going straight to snap packs at the beginning of a month, and then maybe you end up with like 1 for whatever the event is that month. And so I think that's how these cards are going to be released. Again, the system's brand new. This is all data mine. All of this is subject to change, but that's where I'm kind of guessing. But let's actually talk about Mole Man. Yes, Mole Man is coming, and he is a 3/3 with the on reveal. Banish the top card of your deck. Add 2 rocks to your hand with power set to the banished card's cost. And I love this card. Maybe I'm overrating this, but I gave this card 4 out of 5 stars because it just seems like it's doing so much. It's a 3/3, which is not great stats, let's be honest. But that ability, like, this seems like it could almost be to me a backup effect with Hela, right? Like, you play this in your Hela deck, you just play it out because you have so many 6 drops and 5 drops and big cards that you want to. And you hit your Giganto, you hit whatever 6 drop, and you just get 2 1/6s in your hand. I mean, that's a lot of power. It could work as a backup in there. It's also, I think, important to note that this isn't card disadvantage, right? It's the same thing that's like having a card removed from your deck doesn't make your deck any more or less consistent because the card that you lost, yes, it could totally screw you, but you could have also just not had that card, right? Like, yes, you could hit Hela in your Hela deck and be very sad, but you could have also just, that could have been the bottom card of your deck. It could also just as likely hit a different card and get you closer to Hela. So I could see this card being a lot of play. I think it also stands to reason that this card works phenomenally well with a card like Victoria Hand, adding 2 cards to your hand that could potentially be 4 or 5 power, 6 power, like demon quality, and getting 2 of them. I really like what it's doing. And I even put High Evo on here because, that deck could be playing She-Hulk and Infinite and the Hulk, and then, maybe you play Cyclops on 3, and then this on turn 4, activate the Cyclops, hit that, one of your 6 drops or a 5 drop, get 2 1/5s for that final turn. Like, there's a lot of potential here. Maybe even the like Hit Monkey, Black Swan, She-Hulk list. Like, I really like what it's doing. They're only 1 power. I'm probably a bit too high because let's be real, they are just 1 drops. They kinda max out at 6. Yeah, Scar, they could go a little higher. You could just put in Aeroshim because, again, like, destroying the top card of your deck, who cares? Because it could be giving you, like, 2 1/4s or 2 1/3s, which is probably just gonna be good so your Aeroshim deck doesn't run out of gas. I don't know. I really like this effect. I think this is a really cool ability, and I'm really excited for Mole Man. Also dropping in Series 4, we have the Fantasticar. Yes, the legendary car of the Fantastic Four. It is a 4/6 with the activate ability, give your end of turn cards +2 power. I don't love this card. I gave it 2.5. It's stylish as heck, but I'm only giving it 2.5 cards because while I think the effect's pretty nice, give your end of turn cards here +2 power. It obviously could work super well with pretty much all of the Fantastic Four, right? If you give it to Johnny or you give it to the new thing, and then they can destroy bigger things, double up even higher. Like, it's very cool. It's very limited, and being a 4 drop is what really knocked it down a little bit for me because we've seen 4 drops with activates be pretty hard to use. You usually want them to be like a 1, a 2, or a 3 drop. 4 drops, like Hell Cow, kind of worked when there was discarding 2, but besides that, we don't really see Symbiote Spider Man too much. We'll see about the new Fan Fei. It definitely has potential, but I think the effect's just a bit too weak for 4 drops. But that being said, I absolutely will be trying this with the Fantastic Four, the new First Steps version. So I think it might have a home. And like Invisible Woman, as we get more end of turn cards, this card becomes more and more appealing, especially if you want to build an Invisible Woman deck around it. And for our final Series 4 card, we have the Mad Thinker. He is a 1/1 with the ability at the start of each turn, gain +2 power if your hand is full after you draw. And I both like this card a lot, but also I think it has some problems. So I gave it 3 stars, and I'm going to break down exactly why. I think a 1/1 is probably pretty good where this is at, and it's also I love that it works with like Kahore decks, Isan decks. I've had a lot of fun with those decks, like cards like Snow Guard. I think that these cards are actually pretty well positioned right now, like Devil Dinosaur, all these cards, Mirage, Valentina. I feel like we've been seeing more and more of them. Cards like Victoria Hand. Like this feels like the time where a card like this could absolutely work, but it also feels really slow to me. And you might be saying, Parrot, what do you mean slow? Like +2 of power is really good rate, especially on a 1 drop. Well, if you play this on turn 1, you're almost certainly not going to be getting that power on turn 2 unless, the game puts something in your hand, which a couple of things besides, unless like Triskelion pops up, right? Which means you got to play like this on 1 and then Snow Guard, and then you're still not full because your hand is going to be like at like 6 cards after you draw, which means you need to also play like Agent Coulson. More, you need to like get a lot to even get this going, which means it's probably not going to turn on until turn 4 probably. And then even from there, if you're like, okay, well, from there it's pretty easy to keep your hand full, 4, 5, or 6. Like that's only, I mean, that's kind of ideally this is a 1/7, which is really good, but that is requiring a lot. You need to play this early, have all of the cards going on in your hand. It kind of seems like a Meek to me, which Meek has its home, but it's also one of the weakest cards in its deck because it's such a hard scaler to actually get going. But I do like it. Again, I think if there's a time to be playing it, it is now. I'm going to be trying it out. Maybe it's better than it seems, but it seems to me like it has the issues of a card like Strong Guy, where when it was 0 cards, it was terrible because it's so hard to actually make sure you have 0 cards. And this is the same thing. You need to have exactly 7 cards. Your hand needs to be full. It's not 6. It's not at the start of each turn gain 2 + 2 power if you have 5 or more or 6 or more cards in hand. This is has to be full. So I think it's going to end up being a lot slower than it seems, but it is a really cool scaling 1 drop, and I'm definitely going to give it some love. But let's actually look at what this new game mode is bringing because we have a crazy new Omega abilities. They're called champion cards that are becoming, and I'm going to break down exactly what I think these are and how crazy this seems. So we have the Champions Arena as a new game mode that's supposed to be coming to the game. What is this? Well, it seems to be that there will be certain cards called champions, that some of these will be new cards, some of them will be old cards that will have a new skill. Think Agamotto. Agamotto puts skills in your deck. They will have like basically a new card attached to them in this game mode. Now, we aren't sure what that means, where it's like, if you have this card in your deck, you shuffle the skill into your deck, or when you play it, it goes into your hand. That's what I'm thinking it's going to be. It's going to be something like, for instance, there's a Mr. Fantastic one, and when you play Mr. Fantastic, you'll get this skill into your hand. Could be something completely different. We're not entirely sure the exacts, but we do know what these skills are and what cards that they're attached to. And I think what this means is you're not going to be able to get these skills like for your collection. They're only going to be in this game mode, but I think that that's really cool. I think that kind of an imbalanced Marvel Snap is something a lot of people kind of want, where it's like, give me Galactus, that when I play Galactus, it puts like a crazy card into my hand in just this special game mode. And right now there's 8 data mined in of these champion cards and their skills, and they seem to hit a lot of different archetypes. This also seems like the thing, we know they like bringing back game modes, so I could see if this is a limited time. There's 8 now. Next time they add 5 or 6 more, and you have these really cool champion cards, almost like Commander from Magic. But let's break down what these are, right? It'll help you kind of, I think, get a view of what these are going to be. So first up, we have Mr. Fantastic. This is not First Steps Mr. Fantastic, but regular Mr. Fantastic. Cost 3, and it has on reveal, give all of your ongoing cards everywhere -1 cost. So this is like Ravonna Renslayer if it just hit all your ongoings. Really powerful ability, obviously. Now, is this going to be basically attached to Mr. Fantastic? So, like, ongoing kind of has its champion, right? Where you want to play a Mr. Fantastic, and if you're playing an ongoing card, or even like maybe an Ajax deck could use this. Seems really interesting. We have Invisible Woman. Again, not the new Invisible Woman, but the old one has cost 2 on reveal. Next turn, you get +1 energy for each of your unrevealed cards. This could be a huge energy sink, and obviously it works well with Invisible Woman, right? If you put 3 cards behind her, you play this, you get 3 extra energy. You can also, the way that you can play this is, let's say you play 3 1-drops and then this on turn 2. If this reveals first, those other cards will still be unrevealed and will get you that energy. So really cool energy ramp, really unique kind of effect. We have Human Torch First Steps. So this is that new one that gets extra power and then doubles. It costs 2. It has on reveal, add Human Torch's power to the next card you play. So what you can do is, if you on, say, turn 5 end up going for that double, right? Like, let's say you're playing Surfer and you blow the Surfer on turn 5, then turn 6 you can activate this Flame On ability and soup up like a Brood. So really cool, really unique there. The Thing First Steps. So remember, this is that destroy one. This one's called Clobberin' Time. It costs 1. On reveal, move the Thing to this location. He can repeat his destroy ability this game. So if you play this in a location with 2 cards, remember we were talking about the Thing, your opponent might be like, oh no, like they're going to fill that Thing lane and it's going to destroy something. I'll play for this other one. You could Clobberin' Time into a lane with 2 cards. The Clobberin' Time will be there. He'll jump over, destroy something, then card will go away after it destroys. Really cool. We've got H.E.R.B.I.E champion, where instead of an activate, it's going to on reveal execute 2 random protocols, which I'm assuming means it'll do 2 of its things instead of just 1, which really cool effect. Doctor Doom is getting one as well. It costs 0. It has on reveal, replace all cards you played this turn with Doom bots. This seems like it could be the most broken, even outside of like Doom 2099, which it will obviously synergize with. If you play this, which again costs 0, this is data mine, this could all change, but if you play this and like Mysterio and some 1-drops, all of those are going to be 5 power. You can like I almost feel like you could play nothing the entire game, depending on how you get these skills, then play this Doctor Doom champion skill and just literally throw out 5 power in every lane. Really cool effect. Mole Man is also getting one. His champion will be cost 1 on reveal. Give a created card in your hand plus 3 power and create another copy of it. This one also seems insane. Like Victoria Hands, if literally all you have is a hood creating one demon, this will give you that demon plus 3 power and then make a copy of it. You'll have 2/1/9s, like crazy, absolutely insane. Although if it does come like after Mole Man, you would have those rocks in your hand, but you can. It only costs 1. You could certainly play around that. And then the final one is Maximum Carnage for Carnage. It costs 0 and has on reveal, move Carnage to this location, repeat his on reveal ability. So this is really cool. I love that they kind of hit a lot of different archetypes, right? Like Mole Man seems to be like the Victoria Hand stuff. Doctor Doom is play out a lot of cards or Doom 2099 stuff. The Thing is like filling your board. Invisible Woman's unrevealed. Mr. Fantastic is ongoing. Carnage is now destroyed. So like Destroyed X will have a champion or for an Omega like ability. And this seems really good, right? You can like for like say a Nimrod deck, instead of needing your Carnage and your Nimrod on the last turn, now you just Carnage the Nimrod, move it to that lane, Carnage it again, it costs 0, and you can still Venom. Like it seems really good. I really like what's going on here. Really curious to see what this game mode actually ends up being. Because again, to me, it seems like their version of like a commander thing, where you have this champion, it gets a super souped up ability, you build your deck around it. It seems like there's a couple different ways everything could go, and then I would even potentially like to see this stay longer than limited time, like forever, and then they can add new ones. Like every time it comes back, they add 4 or 5 new champions. I really like it, but let me know, what are you excited for in this data mine? Are you as excited for the Fantastic Four? Are you bummed that it's 4 of the 5 cards we already have? Or are you just excited because the new movie looks great? Let me know down below, but that is going to do it for me, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Peace.